Welcome back to Hot Roster today. Gary and Cam still with you now, breaking down our Big Four, one segment later than usual.
Yes.
So we're sorry if you're a creature of habit.
I enjoyed the presidential props. We got to do more of that stuff.
We gotta give the people what they want, Cam.
Yes.
And people want Donald Trump at this point.
They don't want to see the New York Jets play football in primetime anymore.
No.
That was disgusting.
I feel like they have at least one more Monday night game.
Do they really? Can we do the flex sched right now and gas them? No?
It really seems like, I think someone suggested last night over Twitter, like, we have to start making the flex schedule available to the public around week 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
why not? Because it's brutal.
It's been rough lately. So, we talked a lot about the other side of the ball in that
Yep.
contest. Carson Palmer having a great matchup against the Jets. It was not a Carson Palmer game. It was a David Johnson game.
Sure was.
He ran all over the Jets. One-sided affair, and so one-sided. In fact, we saw the man, the myth, the legend, Cam. Geno Smith took the field for Monday Night Football. Fitz benched after a 174-yard, one-interception performance against the Cardinals. It's been bad for Fitz so far this season, 11 interceptions. Todd Bowles has already come out and said that Fitz is his guy.
Why?
Week 7.
Why?
Because Geno Smith's the other option.
I know.
Do you really want Geno Smith? Like, would you start Geno Smith?
No, but why not Bryce Petty? Like, what do you have to lose?
Well, Petty seems like the ultimate project. You know, remember Bruno Caboclo
Yes.
was 2 years away from being 2 years away? That's Bryce Petty right now, except he's not from Brazil.
Nice, Gary. I'm just saying it can't get it. When I look at Geno Smith, like how much worse could Petty be than these two guys? Ryan Fitzpatrick's it's a train wreck, and he's brutal inside the red zone. The picks. You're right though. Like you look at Geno Smith, he instills no confidence. So as for the Jets receivers, you're a Brendan Marshall owner right now. You must be losing your mind just watching these guys on a week-to-week basis because it sucks.
It's got to be sad. Although I will say Marshall at the very least, he's still top
10
in
73 yards?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I know we want to say, like, if Geno Smith is going to start for the Jets, like, does that have any sort of depreciating value on these receivers? It can't get much worse.
I can't see Marshall having those games like he had before, the 14 catch, 186, 2 touch. It's just not going to happen with Fitzgerald there.
But you look right now, of the 35 quarterbacks who have played at least 25% of their team snaps so far this season, 0.26 fantasy points per dropback for Ryan Fitzpatrick. That is the worst mark of any quarterback in the NFL. So you can't get worse.
Yikes.
So if they do go to Geno Smith and you're a Brandon Marshall owner, that's the only guy, by the way. Like, Quincy had a little bit of value. It was like, oh, maybe it was that one nice game against the Bills.
He's got no value. He's got no value.
He's got no value anymore. It's all about Brandon Marshall on this team right now because Matt Forte, he's old.
Yeah, he is. He is getting old.
So I think that with Marshall, he's always going to have the targets. He's going to have the massive share of volume in this offense too. Now that Eric Decker's out, so either one of these guys, Marshall's going to be fine. He's not got the ceiling that he had last season. But he's still a wide receiver. What
would you do if you were Bulls? Did you start Geno Smith or Fitzpatrick? You got to go back to Fitzpatrick.
You got to go to Fitzpatrick.
That's a sad state of affairs.
But it's not like Geno's your future either.
He's awful.
It's just a bad season at this point. Okay, Des Bryant, Cam, is saying that he will definitely play Week 8, coming off of the Cowboys bye this weekend in Week 7. But the big question in Dallas is, who will be the quarterback getting him the ball? Tony Romo, it seems like they've already said that he's not going to play Week 8. They're not going to play until he's 100%. Now, is this posturing on the part of the Cowboys right now? I mean, they're in a situation where with as good as Dak has been, they can kind of string this along. I mean, they're going to say that Romo's hurt when he's not?
It's tough, Garen, and you know he said the old adage in sports, right? You know you can't lose your job,
yeah.
but I'm not from that school.
Ask Drew Bledsoe about
that. Yeah. Ask Drew Bledsoe about that. Exactly. You know what? Dak Prescott's playing great football. He's earned the right to be the starter. He's doing better than everyone thought he could. He's doing everything. The team looks great. They're balanced. No offense, Tony Romo. He hasn't even played any real reps with the team. It's Dak Prescott's team, in my opinion. You keep Tony Romo there. If he starts to falter, then you can put Romo in. I know that's the opposite of what people are going to think, but how could you, when you look at this rookie, how poised he is, the numbers, everything he's doing, it's fantastic. I got to love these kids that are coming and just so impressed how NFL ready they are.
I guess I can see both sides of it in that Romo he's the veteran. He's obviously, if you look at the raw numbers, like quarterback rating,
is he going to put up numbers that are better than Prescott's now?
Well, here's the thing. Because Prescott, I guess I look at it more of in a stat sense because, we're fantasy people here. But, like, Dak has and he's done it well, but he's done everything that's been asked of him. It's just that not a lot has been asked of him, which is fine because you don't need Dak to do all that much. When
no 300-yard games, but efficient. But he's
efficient.
Been
efficient. Yeah. His first interception, I believe he set the NFL record for most attempts to begin a career with no interceptions. Did throw an interception in the second half of that Green Bay game. But right now, Dallas is the only team in the NFL with a higher run ratio than pass ratio. Dak actually has 199 dropbacks so far this season. Only Tyrod Taylor has fewer dropbacks among quarterbacks who have started 6 games so far this year. They lead the NFL in time of possession. It's like we're talking about with Hillary.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Hillary,
have to
be
do
like
too
Dallas.
much.
Long, slow drives.
Exactly.
Feed
So,
Zeke.
look, if you want to change, if you're Jason Garrett and you feel the need at some point that you're going to have to change your offensive philosophy and maybe, go a little more run gun, maybe need more points. Romo's probably the guy for that, but right now they're winning.
Yep.
And they don't need a guy to do too much.
And the defense is playing better than expected.
surprising.
Because you looked at them, everyone's ripping on Dallas. They've been playing. They've been overachieving. Kudos to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They look fantastic.
It's been good so far this year. Their opposition, Week 6, not been overachieving as of late, and Eddie Lacy's injury is not going to help that. Obviously was suffering and struggling through that ankle injury playing the Cowboys Week 6, and it's likely that it's going to be affecting him on a short turnaround week for the Cowboys. They play the Thursday nighter against Chicago in Week 7, and that ankle injury is still under evaluation right now in Packers camp. They didn't practice as a team yesterday, but if they had, Lacy would not have practiced. So, Cam, if he's active Thursday, are you playing him as an owner?
No, I'm not. It's too risky. I know Gary, and he's had the 100-yard game, but you look at it, 61, 50, 65, 81. Yeah, the numbers are yards. They're okay. He's actually averaging, over 4 yards a carry.
5.1 yards per carry.
You know what I got a problem with? Touchdowns.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. And the Green Bay's offense isn't looking the same. It's too risky. I think it's a bad move. And you know what? No, I would not. I think there's better options out there. I would not start Lacy. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think in a standard league, he's still playable as like a low-end RB2. I think that, we look at Lamar Miller. And so I know Miller's probably a better back at this point.
Yep.
But I mean, Lacy has played well when given the ball. Even his yards per carry in that last contest with essentially one ankle,
but
he performed.
He's not getting in the end zone, and
so
he has to have those
so
big games.
Bad. But,
I know.
75 touches so far this season, no touchdown. I mean, you feel like at some point that's probably going to turn around. He'll get in the end zone just based on regression. But I think that in a PPR where he's not catching any passes, he's not involved at all in the running game. Ty Montgomery taking a huge stake
What's
in that
up with the
offense
Stanford
right now.
product?
Very interesting.
I like that kid.
But I think in a PPR, I wouldn't play him. In a standard,
maybe.
If you don't have better options, I think there's still a chance you're going to have to roll him out there. Kenny Britt.
Yes, Kenny.
Our last topic in the Big Four. Huge game against the Lions, Cam. 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, bringing up to 492 for the season. He's actually 8th among all wideouts in receiving yards.
On pace for over 1,300 yards, Gary.
I mean, what's your sort of ceiling here? What's your expectation with Kenny Britt?
I'm proud of Kenny Britt. He's just one of those guys that had a lot of problems in his early in his career, and now he's playing great. He's a citizen that's
well, you know what they always
focused
say?
on football.
If you've got off the field problems, if you've got control problems, you want to go to Los Angeles. You want to go to a nice quiet nightlife and really control yourself. And it's come through in spades right now for Kenny Britt. Good for him.
He was in St. Louis before that, though, right?
Exactly.
Maybe he cleaned up in St. Louis, but I don't know what to go. 75 plus receiving yards in 4 of the last 5, Gary, and him and Case Keenum seem to have a great relationship. And you look at the depth chart of the Rams receivers, really. Austin and some other he is the number one
He
guy.
should be the guy.
It's Todd Gurley. That's what they do. They feed him and Kenny Britt. So I expect more of the same. Case Keenum and him, they seem to have a chemistry.
My fears here would be that, one, you mentioned Case Keenum twice. Anytime you're mentioning Case Keenum, that's a disappointing
He's got
situation.
40 targets already. He's
okay.
He's doing all right.
But I'm just they run the ball about their run ratio is the 8th highest in the league, so it's never going to be a huge volume thing. And also, Detroit is by far the worst defense.
Yes.
I think Detroit proved this week that they are matchup proof when it comes to quarterbacks and wide receivers. So he's not going to get the Lions every single week. I think he's ownable.
Britt's a nice flex option.
Yeah, he's a flex option. I think that's a good way to put it.
That's what I'm thinking. I'd be looking at him. Not even a wide receiver 2, but a good flex.
Good flex option is probably the way to put it.
Good flex.
So when we come back on Hot Roster today, as we always do, Cam, breaking down some actual stuff happening tonight on HotRoster.com. There are 3 NHL cards tonight. We will break down one of them.
Sorry about the Bobby Ryan pick yesterday. We were on fire before. Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Our apologies. We'll make up for it when we come back on the show.